Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on such truth with our sincerity. I already made a blessing looking up your upon your houses. All right, the topic of this lesson is going to be on an article that was posted on the White House's website. Pretty much just going into um, persecution, man. You know, preparing for more persecution, even martial law, and things of that sort. All right, but this is the article right here. All right, and this is what it tells from the WhiteHouse.gov. It's titled "Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens." All right, and one of the words that really stuck out to me on here was unleashing the American law enforcement, right? Think of it like, you got a bunch of rabid dogs or wild animals, and you just unleash them loose, right? Unleashing the pack loose to do whatever they want to do. All right, but let's read a little bit into it, right? I just read this first section here that basically goes into the purpose and what the policy is. It reads, safe communities rely on the backbone and heroism of a tough and well-equipped police force. My administration is steadfastly committed to empowering states and local law enforcement to firmly police dangerous criminal behavior, and protect innocent citizens. When local leaders demonize law enforcement and impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressively enforcing the law impossible, crime thrives and innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. My administration will therefore establish best practices at the state and local level for cities to unleash high impact local police forces, right? High impact local police forces. And when I heard that, I was like, never really heard that term before, right? Even, trying to, look it up, couldn't really find anything on it. Everything was pretty much going back to this article. So it looks like, it's pretty much seems like it's a new term. I never heard that before, but a high impact local police force. Continuing on, it reads, protect and defend law enforcement officers wrongly accused and abused by state or local officials, and surge resources to officers in need. My administration will work to ensure that law enforcement officers across America focus on ending crime, not pursuing harmful, illegal race and sex-based equity policies. The result will be a law-abiding society in which tenacious law enforcement officers protect the innocent. Violations of law are not tolerated, and American communities are safely enjoyed by all their citizens again. All right, so pretty much in other terms, all right, it's basically, funding and pretty much boosting up and giving more power, all right, to law enforcement. In other terms, right, speaks of high impact local police forces. All right, speaks about defending, officers that were, accused or abused and all these other things, right? Okay, even talks about, from it says to firmly police dangerous criminal behavior and protect innocent citizens. So in other terms, they're just gonna be more aggressive, right? As you see, right? And when you really read into that, it's gonna cause a lot of the stop and frisk searches and so forth. Oh, matter of fact, there's I forgot I even had this right here, but this goes more into that
An executive order, which he says
real quick. This goes more into that to unleash high impact police forces. Right, quick little clip here.
President Trump has signed an executive order which he says will bring order to America's streets. Critics worry it could hold police less accountable.
CBS 4's Russ McQuaid has spoken with community leaders who fear the president's order will leave citizens less safe from law enforcement.
The president's executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. But neighbors and law enforcement officials tell me with so many of Trump's directives, there's a lot of gray area there and perhaps some unintended consequences. Serious crime, including homicides and shootings, are down in Indianapolis since 2020, which was the summer when Mayor Joe Hogsett and IMPD led the way in inviting more citizens' oversight and participation in the various boards that review police activity.
I think that Indiana is doing a better job than probably most places as it relates to having community engagement as it relates to our law enforcement.
Trump's executive order calls for cities to unleash high-impact police forces and officers, quote, not pursuing harmful, illegal, race and sex-based equity policies.
The bigger question to me is why?
The executive order also calls for improved police training and resources, increased pay and benefits, review of federal consent decrees some cities depend on to oversee and clean up troubled police departments, more legal resources for officers accused of wrongdoing while performing their jobs, and federal prosecution of state and local officials deemed to have interfered with law enforcement or involved in obstructionist DEI practices.
I just don't want this to turn into something where people are being targeted. You know, martial law, stop and frisk, all those things that we fought so hard to go against, it looks like they could possibly be open to us now.
What do we do?
Community leaders who monitor IMPD says this executive order endangers recent advancements for accountability.
You're going to have more problems. You're going to see more rogue activity because they have freedom now that they didn't have before. So we're one mayor or one chief away from this happening if the current ones don't do it.
A law enforcement source I spoke with said the problem was civilian involvement.
All right, so pretty much as you see, right, one of the guys even said martial law. We pretty much are seeing a law that's getting passed as pretty much I guess you say a precursor to full blown martial law, right? It's like they basically saying martial law without saying martial law, because now these officers, right, law enforcement is gonna have a lot more power, a lot more wiggle room, a lot more funding, a lot more things that they can do now, right? And even getting backed on, even when it comes down, like even when you read on the when we read on the order, even when it comes down to like when they're getting charges on them, and matter of fact, let me go back to it and find it because it's towards the latter. And but even when they're going through like cases that's put on them and stuff, they're getting more resources for that. Right here, right, protect and defend law enforcement officers wrongly accused and abused by state and local officials, and surge resources to officers in need. So they're gonna have even more funding and assistance to, you feel me, not even have to worry about the outcome of said things they do, right? Don't gotta worry about getting put in jail and so forth, because they're gonna have way more resources than they had before. So hey, it's really showing you how basically precursors to martial law, right? And you're seeing people, as we played in the clip, people are protesting, rioting, in other terms, civil unrest. People are upset about this, man. And that just goes to show you the times that we are in, man. All right. Let's bring this out real quick. This is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 15, and it reads, "For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And that's all exactly what's about to get ready to happen in Babylon, America. All right, that is going to be a reality in this place, man, where you're going to have people fighting against each other, man, neighbor against neighbor. All right, and they're not going to regard or care about the laws, the rules, the law enforcement. All right, it's going to be full-blown anarchy in this place, man. All right, and we're seeing the chess pieces get put into this place for that to happen. Verse 17, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride in the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. And all that is really about to go down, all right, due to when it's a Jacob Trouble, right? Basically, martial law popping off, right? All hell going breaking loose in this place. All right, so you're gonna be seeing that, right? A sedition among men. All right, want to go into a city, but you can't. Can't even really travel. Having curfews, FEMA zones. You can even go on Google and type in, the different FEMA zones that they have, right? So, as we're seeing, we are inching closer and closer to Jacob's Trouble, right? The chess piece has already been put in place for law enforcement to have now way more power than they had before. All right, so now we just wait and hasten the coming of Yahweh Shai at this point, man. All right, wait and hasten the shit to pop off in this place, man. Wait for this place to truly bug out and crash out because the pieces are getting put into place, man. All right. This is Matthew the 12th chapter, verse 25, and it reads, And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And Babylon is highly divided, right? It's divided in multiple places, man. You have the Democrat Republic, you got the North versus the South, you got, pro-Trump and those that don't like Trump. This place is highly divided, man. So we're seeing, especially even on the fact of that that article, not even article, but that policy, right? That got passed or that's being pushed. Even on that policy, you see that there's, different sides to it. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Some people are for it, some people aren't for it. At the end of the day, we're seeing how this place is highly divided, and ultimately that's going to lead to the destruction and downfall of this place. This is Isaiah 10:1. It reads, Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And that's exactly what we see in Babylon. We see that on a constant daily basis in this place, man. And that policy is just another perfect prime example of that. All right, again, backing it up even more. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And right now, what did we see? We saw the people were in mourning. The people are in mourning because the wicked are in authority. All right, you see the protest and you see the state of our people, right? All right, people constantly going through it in this place, man. And it's going to continue to get worse until this place is put back into its righteous course through the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. That's why we are hastening the kingdom. We are hastening the downfall and destruction of this place, man. We want martial law to happen. We want all these things to pop off in this place because that lets us know that we are very close to the kingdom of Yasharala. We are very close to a righteous rulership. All right, and that is what we want. That's what we're looking forward to. But hey, martial law is pretty much around the corner. Pretty much right there. But little one, this was edifying to elected Israel. With that being said, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well, peace, blessings, salutations to the electors out there pushing, laboring, believing, let's go into the truth with our sincerity. Until next time, Shalom, and a ball, Kwame Sharala, Shalom.